Ari's very gregarious, very brave. She's a little girl that I'm actually very proud of.
My friend was sad because I wouldn't leave her alone.
Okay, your friend was sad because you wouldn't leave her alone?
Yeah, I was trying to be next to her so she couldn't feel lonely.
Were you being too much of a pest?
Oh, we don't use that word. Let's be nice.
You're bugging her? Oh, really? I'm so sorry.
Oh, so he's actually proud of his daughter? Really? What about the other kids? I mean, it's not exactly a mystery why he's so keen on her. She's acting just like him. Selfish, spoiled, and completely out of touch with anyone else's feelings. But hey, I won't call her selfish and spoiled outright. She's still a little kid, and it's not exactly her fault she's mimicking her genius parents. I mean, they're basically encouraging this behavior. So sure, let's hope she finds some better role models before it's too late. But let's not stop there. She's not just selfish and spoiled. She's invasive, totally oblivious to other people's boundaries or feelings. And don't get me started on how Kody, Robyn, and Mindy are completely failing her. They're reinforcing all the wrong behaviors and turning a blind eye to it. Real winner parenting, right? What really gets me, though, is how this guy's feelings about his kids are obviously tied to how he feels about their mother. So, of course, 13 of his kids are problematic and, disloyal or whatever. Insert eye roll here. It's like he forgot the classic monkey see, monkey do lesson. Aries' reason for being a total pest. A girl was mad at me because I stole her man. A little girl. How does she even know what that means? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because her mother brags about it all the time. But here's the kicker. When this little girl grows up and starts pushing back, because, teenagers do that, he'll do exactly what he's done with all the others. He'll bail. Classic move. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel reality Nexus X. In Sister Wives Season 13, Episode 4, the dysfunction in Kody's parenting comes into full view during the Seattle trip preparations. At one point, Christine is trying to have a conversation with him about what he needs to do for Truly. Kody, looking completely uninterested and clearly annoyed, brushes her off. He half-heartedly asks if Peyton knows what to do, implying that he won't be the one to take responsibility for Truly. Instead, he goes on about how he needs to be there for Saul, as if that somehow excuses his blatant disregard for Truly's needs. But the hypocrisy doesn't stop there. In the next scene, we see Kody at Robyn's house, chatting with Mindy about what he plans to do for Robyn's kids. It's like a whole different Kody. Suddenly, he knows exactly how to handle Robyn's children, and even talks about spending quality time with Ariella. It's hard to miss how deeply hurtful this must have been for the other wives to witness. The contrast between how Kody interacts with Robyn's children and how he's always treated his own is glaring, and it paints a painful picture of a father who failed his children. Truly, in particular, has video evidence of Kody's neglect, and it's heartbreaking to think that she's had to grow up feeling like an afterthought. It's not just a case of favoring one wife over another. Kody essentially abandoned his entire original family. He left behind the 3 wives and all of his kids, only to start over with Robyn and her kids. He didn't just ditch his wives, he ditched their children too. This wasn't a one-time slip-up, it's been a pattern for years. Even when his original kids were younger, Kody had the nerve to live a comfortable life, driving a sports car while his wives drove clunky, unreliable cars to cart their kids around. The family struggled, eating stale bread and lacking basic health insurance, while Kody had it all. The Seattle trip scene was just the latest glaring example of how Kody's been all about his needs and desires, ignoring everyone else. Sure, Robyn's kids were special, but the rest of the family? Not so much. In the end, Kody's actions show that he's the textbook example of a father who failed his children, because no father who truly cares about his kids can love some of them and neglect others. That's not just a failure, it's pathetic. Robyn claims Kody was technically with her at the bridal shop, but surprise, he didn't actually pick the dress. He merely gave his opinion, and she made the final choice. Because, of course, this minor detail somehow changes everything, right? And then, in the same breath, she has the audacity to say, Kody and I did nothing wrong. Ah, classic Robyn. This line screams volumes about her mindset. As long as Kody and she keep things hush-hush, they're in the clear. Fairness to Mary, Christine, and Janelle doesn't even enter the equation. Robyn's only interested in creating the illusion of fairness. If it was truly nothing wrong, why the secrecy? If it was nothing wrong, why did Kody call it a bomb? Was your childhood dream to marry a man who drops bombs on his other wives, Robyn? It's all starting to add up. The whole reason she and her little Fab Five are so separated from the rest of the family is because Robyn wanted to be Kody's safe haven, a place to escape from all the family drama. And of course, the more isolated they were, the tighter their bond grew. It started from the very beginning when Kody unloaded all of his marriage problems onto her, and that emotional dump forged their connection. So naturally, she made him swear an oath before they got married, because what says healthy relationship more than a vow steeped in secrecy? Robyn has no problem wasting the time of the original 3 wives. And let's not forget that little omission about the dress. Kody got all giddy when he dropped his bomb, expecting the OG3 to laugh it off and call him a cheeky rascal. Robyn, however, knew full well that none of them would appreciate her little act of deception. But here's the thing, nothing ever is Robyn's fault. Not her massive credit card debt, not her first divorce, not her premarital pregnancy, not the role she played in damaging Kody's other marriages, not her strained relationship with her stepkids, not the mansion she had to buy instead of renting, and definitely not the fact that she'll never get to sit on a porch with her sister wives. No. In Robyn's world, it's always someone else's fault. And mark my words, when Kody and Robyn's divorce inevitably happens, and it will, it's going to be epic, she'll throw him under the bus faster than he can blink. Kody should take a good long look at how she treated her first husband, because guess what? One day, she'll do the same thing to him. Oh, Robyn's transformation between Sister Wives Season 3, Episode 4 and Episode 5 is something else, isn't it? It's like someone flipped a switch, and suddenly the sweet, giggly, eager-to-please woman we saw earlier is, well, gone. It's like her whole demeanor just changes, and by Episode 5, we're staring at a very different version of Robyn. And let's just say, she's not nearly as fun as she used to be. In Episode 4, she's like a breath of fresh air. She's all smiles, working hard to fit into the family, laughing with Kody, and making everyone feel warm and fuzzy. It's like she's the new, shiny addition to the family, and she's super eager to please. But then, bam, Episode 5 hits. There she is, massively pregnant, and very different. And if you missed the subtle shifts, there's a moment that totally gives it away. So Kody, in his usual dramatic flair, is announcing to the family that they're having a boy, and he wants to hear everyone's ideas for names. He turns to Robyn, grinning like a kid at Christmas, and asks, "What do you think his name should be?" And Robyn, all business now, goes, "We'll see." Wait, what? The tone is way different from the bubbly Robyn we saw before. This wasn't just a let's keep it private moment. This was a clear signal that Robyn wasn't interested in sharing the spotlight with anyone, and she wasn't here for the group's input on her baby's name. She was, dare I say, staking her claim. And then you look at her overall demeanor, cold, serious, and suddenly a bit controlling. It's almost like she's been waiting for her pregnancy to be the golden ticket that lets her drop the act. Once she's carrying Kody's child, her status is solidified, and bam, the true Robyn starts to show. The sweet act? Gone. Now we get someone who's not afraid to correct people, lay down the law, and, well, demand the world bow to her. And let's not forget her massive shift when the older kids weren't all that thrilled about the pregnancy announcement. She wasn't just disappointed. No. Robyn was furious, and that anger didn't just simmer, it festered. This was when she started pulling the us versus them card in full force, expecting everyone to shower her with admiration and entitlement. When the older kids didn't go along with her vision of the perfect, shiny new family dynamic, that mask she'd been wearing started to slip. And here's the kicker. Robyn was never sweet. Ever. It was all a performance. She carefully crafted this image of being the considerate, loving wife, and she knew exactly how to manipulate the cameras to make it seem that way. But deep down, she didn't give a damn if Kody called the other wives while they were on their honeymoon. What really mattered was how it looked. She needed the world to believe she was the best, most patient, and selfless wife in the bunch. She was no more sweet than Kody was honest in the beginning. It was all a show. And eventually, like any good show, the mask slipped. In short, Robyn was always a lot more calculated than anyone realized. The pregnancy just gave her the cover she needed to stop pretending. Kody's big revelation: I'm a hopeless romantic and way too easily infatuated. Growing up, I had all these little heartbreaks. My dating style was careless. I jump into relationships without thinking, and sometimes I find myself holding a girl's hand and then suddenly wonder, why the hell am I holding her hand? I don't even like her. Good Lord, Kody, some things never change. It's like watching a guy whose impulse control is non-existent, letting his hormones lead him around by the nose. You know, the same guy who tells his kids not to do exactly that. Classic. And seriously, speaking of hormones, isn't it funny how Kody believes that hormones transfer through a kiss? So tell me, Kody, why are you making out with your mom and daughters then? The mental gymnastics here are truly something else. A grown man with the maturity of a 12-year-old. Shocking, right? But here's the kicker. He accused Gabe of wanting to get his pencil wet. Gross, by the way. But plot twist, Kody was really just exposing his own behavior. That was, pretty revealing, wasn't it? Now, let's talk about Kody and Meri. They were 21 and 19 when they got married, and the way I see it, Kody didn't marry Meri because of some deep, passionate connection. He probably tied the knot because his religion told him he couldn't have sex outside of marriage, while Meri, bless her heart, just wanted her fairy tale. They got married and, 3 months later? Boom, courting again. Sounds a lot like those relationships that aren't tied to some outdated belief system. First month, he's hot with lust. Second month, reality hits. By the third month, he's already eyeing the next shiny object. In the real world, they'd break up, move on, and do better next time. But in their world, they were stuck. No getting out of that. Now, I get that we all have our insecurities, but let's be real. A 19-year-old woman with hardly any life experience and a Pinterest-worthy vision of marriage, paired with a guy who's already moving on after just a few months. Yeah, I can see how that would make her feel like she's not enough. And Meri's Worthy Up project? No surprise there. She's probably been struggling with feelings of unworthiness her whole marriage to Kody, and maybe even before. It makes sense when you think about it. Robyn's misery isn't just an aesthetic choice, it's a lifestyle. As a stepmom, you learn quickly that your relationship takes a backseat to your partner's bond with their kids, no matter how frustrating that is. You sign up for it, but it's still a hard pill to swallow. However, Robyn took it a step further. She didn't just accept the role of second fiddle. She methodically undermined Kody's kids, slowly working to replace them with her own. Classic evil stepmother vibes, right? And don't get me started on the other wives. Robyn kept them around only as long as they served her agenda, mainly financial gain. It's no surprise she fought to keep Meri around, but not Janelle. Sure, they both made decent money, but Janelle had a genuine connection with Kody, and that was something Robyn couldn't compete with. Meri, on the other hand, Kody hadn't loved her in years, so keeping her in the picture was just a way for Robyn to benefit from her money, without any risk to her own relationship with Kody. But when Mary finally left, and Robyn was left alone with Kody, she realized the hard truth. Kody wasn't the prize she'd imagined. The fun wore off when the money dried up, and there was no one left for her to tear down. It's hard to keep up the evil stemma routine when the perks are gone, right? Of course, it all paid off financially. Robyn was drowning in debt, craving nice things, and now she lives in a big house. Her kids are getting fancy educations, and she buys whatever she wants. Do they live within their means? Absolutely not. Is Kody a prize? Oh, hell no. Robyn played the game, and now she gets to live with the consequences. Because, as they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It's clear Robyn was after the polygamous lifestyle for the benefits it would bring. Multiple breadwinners, built-in babysitters, kids for her own to socialize with, older wives to overshadow, and a husband who would be too distracted to notice her antics. She hit the jackpot. She became the favorite wife, secured the legal marriage, and could quietly lord over the others. But now that the other 3 wives are gone, Robyn's true role is being exposed, and the blame can no longer be shifted elsewhere when things go wrong. Watching it all unfold on the show, it was painfully obvious to viewers what Robyn was up to, and yet she still plays the victim, as does Kody. It's a perfect example of narcissism at its finest. It would be fascinating to hear what modern anthropologists would say about them, especially considering the studies conducted on them during their Vegas years. In the end, I think Robyn always viewed the whole situation as a game. And now that she's won, she's stuck with the reality that the prize isn't nearly as shiny as she imagined. Ah, the infamous experiment month with Christine. What a masterpiece of Kody's genius in family dynamics, right? So I'm rewatching the episodes, listening to them all chat about Kody supposedly dividing his time equally between the wives. Oh, we really know how that goes. And the usual complaint. Robyn is somehow the villain for not pushing him to be fair. Classic. And then suddenly, I remember that little tidbit from either season 16 or 17's Tell All, where Kody casually mentions he did a little experiment in Vegas. Of course, the experiment was him spending a wildly disproportionate amount of time at Christine's house just to see what would happen. Spoiler alert, what happened was exactly what we all knew was coming. Robyn's rule over the kingdom, as usual. Now, I'm starting to think that maybe, just maybe, this whole experiment wasn't just Kody's brainchild. No, I suspect Robyn had a hand in this one. Picture it. Robyn, fed up with the constant narrative that she's the bad wife because she wants him around so much, probably sat Kody down and said, "Look, I'm done being the scapegoat for this. Let's prove once and for all that the other wives would be just as bad if they had you to themselves." If you were at their houses all the time, do you really think anyone would say, "Oh, this is too much time. It's not fair to the others"? No, they wouldn't. And boom, experiment month was born. The whole idea, of course, is just another manipulation tactic. It's like, let's give Christine what she wants and stop pretending like anyone else is different. Of course, they forget to mention that Christine and her kids have been desperate for attention and affection for years because of Kody's neglect. But hey, let's pretend that a month of extra time at her house is some sort of grand gesture. Oh, and why not make it 6 months, Kody? Just for the sake of thoroughness. And let's talk about Christine's deal in Vegas, which we didn't see on camera, but it's clear there was some kind of arrangement about setting up wrestling mats in her garage. Maybe that was Kody's bribe to make her feel like she was getting something in return for his temporary presence. Because, as we all know, actions speak louder than words. All the wives were getting crumbs, while Robyn was living like royalty with Kody by her side in her little office away from everyone else. Then he'd casually show up to dinner and swipe through his phone like it's no big deal. Pure class. But of course, when the other wives called Robyn out in their therapy sessions, asking where Kody was, her response was basically a deflection. "He's going." "Sure, Robyn, sure." And when Kody finally fessed up about why he was always at Robyn's place, citing her loyalty and the fact that he wanted to be there for her tenders, Robyn finally admitted that, yeah, he was always there, but she couldn't tell him what to do. What a load of nonsense. Just a whole lot of lying, all while the other wives were being gaslighted into thinking everything was perfectly fair. As for the timing of this experiment, who knows, but it could have been when Truly was sick, or when Kody was trying to sell Christine on the Flagstaff move. Either way, it's a mess. So I'm rewatching Sister Wives while I'm recovering from my own little tumble. And I just hit the ski accident episode. You know the one. Meri gets this gnarly leg injury, can barely move, and is just laying in bed looking miserable. And what does Kody do? Oh, no big deal. Just skips off to a date with Janelle. Because priorities, right? Who the hell was taking care of Meri while she could barely walk? I mean, did anyone forget she was living in a house with stairs? Did Kody and Janelle really have to go on a date right then? Couldn't they have postponed until Meri wasn't, immobile? Christine even swings by Meri's place to complain about Kody, which fine, but did anyone offer to help Meri out? This family's unbelievable. I have no idea how Meri didn't completely lose it sooner. And yet people still act shocked when Meri decides to stop helping everyone. Like really? Sayonara, bitches, indeed. And don't even get me started on the people who act like Meri should have backed Christine when she left. First of all, Meri had already tried to do her part by fighting for one big house and making sure Christine wasn't totally pushed out of the family. Second, they literally hadn't had any kind of real relationship for, what, a decade. Meri was the only one even trying. Sure, Janelle made a half-hearted attempt with therapy, but that didn't last. And then, when COVID hit, and Janelle and Christine were doing their thing, Meri didn't hear from a single one of them. Not a text, not a call, nothing, from the start of the pandemic all the way to September. So yeah, tell me again why Meri should be kind and understanding and generous with these people, because I'm just not seeing it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.